find the world guilty of killing off the world's fish. But on a more serious note, our world's fish stocks are plunging. Some species of fish are only 5% of what they were once. The reason? Corporate greed. The very people who supply us with food, warmth, comfort, and supplies are robbing our children of the succulent tang of the sea. Governments are promising to do something about it, but fish populations are continuing to drop.
The Atlantic cod, considered a common household fish. The wild population is now a scarcity, with only 2% of its original biomass remaining. A majority of Atlantic cod in stores is farmed, thus many health benefits are lost, a notable one being nutrient value. The cod moratorium, a fishing ban, was established in 1992 and is to this day still in place. Coveted in the first place for its large size, Atlantic cod can grow up to 2 meters in length and weigh up to 96 kilos in the wild. Registered as vulnerable in its conservation status,
they have been farmed since the 16th century. Atlantic cod are important because they are a dominant commercial fish in the Atlantic, and many species make a living around it. Some include herring, capelin, shrimp, and snow crab that have since exploded in population. The main reason of their depletion is through trawling. Trawling is a method of fishing that involves pulling a fishing net through the water behind one or more boats. This method quickly catches numerous amounts of fish at the expense of destroying ecosystems lying on the floor. In fact, this method is too good that fishermen are catching fish faster than they can reproduce.
Atlantic cod is a gem that must be preserved. In fact, the Atlantic cod may not make a comeback at all in its western sector due to drastic change in its ecosystem. The eastern side have been much more conservative with their fishing of the cod, with Greenland and Russia being major contributors to this movement. The question is, can Canada follow up on their promises to protect the Atlantic cod?
However, are highly regarded flatfish that have been trawled for the demand for their excellent taste.
The Atlantic halibut is still sold in supermarkets around the world, with other endangered species such as the bluefin tuna and the shark occupying the spotlight. Not much awareness of the species has been raised. As a result, the Atlantic halibut has been slowly but surely dropping. Because of its slow maturity and population growth, recovery is expected to take a long time. The Atlantic halibut can grow to as long as 4.7 meters and can weigh up to 710 pounds. However, they are rarely seen at this magnitude because as it measures, it sinks in inches.
As of 2006, Canada, Norway, and UK, Ireland, and Chile have engaged in actively cultivating halibut.
Hailed as a king of tunas, it made no rule the sea at its current farming rate, as it is now in the endangered section. It can grow up to 990 pounds in weight and swim up to 50 kilometers per hour. However, due to massive overfishing by European market, only 18% of bluefin tuna stocks remain. However, despite relentless pressure from multiple ecology ministers, Europe still refuses to ban the fishing of the bluefin tuna.
They are in high demand because they are key ingredients to make sushi or sashimi.
Because of its great popularity in Japan's sushi, the European government has its qualms about banning bluefin sales.
Though there are restrictions against hunting, many fishermen who break the law to get them. For fishermen, they require quine to survive and thus resort to illegal actions in order to feed their families. A 342 kilogram tuna sold at Tokyo's Tsukiji fish market for 32.49 million yen, which is, in translation, $396,700 US. The highest price for a single fish since record keeping began in 1999. That's 95,000 yen, 1,157 per kilogram. As high school students, we believe we are strictly restricted to certain limits that disable us from achieving certain goals. However, we as citizens believe that we can raise a difference by encouraging others of higher authority or of larger numbers to speak out for us. So now we are left with one question. How can we conserve endangered fishes? Number 1. Reduce the demand for overexploited species. Number 2. Support organizations working to protect the ocean. Many institutes and organizations are fighting to protect ocean habits and marine wildlife. Find a national organization and consider giving financial support or for volunteering for hands-on work or advocacy. If you live near the coast, join up with a local branch or group and get involved in projects close to home. Number 3. When shopping or dining out, help choosing seafood that is both healthful and sustainable. Number 4. Start rallies. For starting rallies, protest until the government delivers justice. Number 5. Create a website or video to raise awareness about keystone species and how they're becoming extinct.
We are running out of time.
The longer we stand idly by, the more fish will suffer.
And in order to prevent this, we must not act rash
Instead, we should act smart.
and reduce the amount of damages caused.
And thereby help the world recover what has been damaged. If we, the citizens of Canada, refuse to make a difference, the fish of the world will become non-existent.